It's time for the main event. It's the Shoe Shot.
Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Gloating all the way. NFC champs, Philadelphia Eagles. I guess the moment has arrived. If you're just tuning in, the countdown clock on the right-hand side, 39 minutes and 34 seconds until your boy Dave from the 408 eats a freaking pie to the face. That's right. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Dave from the 408, all the way from my podcast studio in San Jose, Califas, for another edition of the Shoe Shine. And joining me all the way from the city of brotherly love, the NFC champions, Philadelphia Eagles. And it ain't Drew who's going to be crying tonight, guys. It ain't Drew. Shit. How did I make that bet, guys? If you guys want to tap in, 702-710-3627. We're going to be going over the Arthur Beterbeiv fight and the Alex Rocha fight. Oh, man, those are some great fights this weekend. I actually had a great time watching those. Drew's dancing. Shout out to everybody who is joining us live right now. Drew, how's it going, man? How you feeling on Monday?
38 minutes and 42 seconds.
JC says, cry, JC, cry, hog. No, hey, shout out to Jimenez Video Productions. Homie, thanks for coming by, man. And Nando Lamas is here, JC. I appreciate everyone's. Shout out to Sonteo Media, who was doing some great work at Garcia Promotions. You know, Robert Garcia and them, they put on their own little card and down by the San Bernardino area, I believe. And shout out to Sonteo Media for covering that. Make sure you go check out his channel, Sonteo Media. Well, Drew, let's get to the show because we don't have that much time for content. A lot of you are waiting. So if you're just coming into the room or you want to let somebody know that a 49ers faithful is going to eat a pie to the face because he made a bet, make sure you let them know. Let me crack open a beer, Drew. Let's get cracking on this, man, because I had a great time watching the fights this weekend. Not the game on Sunday because everything obviously went wrong that could go wrong with that. But yeah, absolutely, man. Let's get into this shit. Yarde gets a moral victory in a TKO loss to Arthur Beterbeiv at light heavyweight. Drew, oh, this matchup was exciting, Drew, and I didn't think it was going to go as long as it did, man. I thought Joe Smith Jr., getting iced in 4 rounds in his last outing. I didn't think Yarde, who didn't look, he never looked like a world champion level fighter to me, especially when he fought an aged out Sergey Kovalev. This is a second chance to be a light heavyweight champion. I got to ask your take, man. Everybody's giving him glowing reviews saying that, even though he lost, man, it was a moral victory in a sense because he looked so much better than anticipated. Your thoughts on that exciting light heavyweight matchup?
Surprised me every bit.
He did.
And gotta give him his prompts about it. I didn't think it was going to last 1 minute and 30 seconds. But, hey, it did. Lasted 8 rounds. He actually did some good things in there. I had him winning the fight at the time of the stoppage. So if you look at it, I really believe he kind of showed that Beterbeiv is really starting to show his age a little bit. Mm-hmm. And I know people might get their panties in a bunch because I say it, but he looked like his age a little bit. This was a guy that he should have got out of there quickly. And he did it because Yarde was actually being smarter in a fight than he was in the Kovalev fight. And he actually showed off a couple of the weaknesses of Beterbeiv you can explore from him.
Right.
That if you look at it, Grovsdick did to him too. But I really see all that I saw to see that I can see Demetrius Bivol beaten off of Beterbeiv. And I even called out, I think he beats Beterbeiv if the fight ever happens. I doubt it does happen because if it was going to happen, it would have happened already.
Well, there's a lot of interest in that fight. Obviously, it's going to be the best undisputed fight that we've seen in a very long time, maybe even historically. two Eastern European fighters. Oh man, it's a fight everybody is salivating. And you bring up a great point that there's going to be a lot of money on the table for Bivol to fight Canelo Alvarez and to give Canelo Alvarez the opportunity for a rematch. Eddie Hearn's been saying, yes, Canelo wants this rematch very badly. So it looks like Bivol will not be fighting 38 years old this week. He's 38. Reminds us very much of the trajectory of Gennady Golovkin, where possibly the biggest fight of his career financially is going to take place in his very late 30s, possibly 39 years old. But nonetheless, man, stylistically, I need to see this fight as soon as possible, Drew, because, listen, Beterbiev, even though he got hit a lot, and he's gotten hit in his previous two fights more than ever, against Marcus Brown was one. We saw him get hit. We know that he's tasted the canvas twice. He's been down twice in his professional career. And we saw Bivol put on a masterclass against Canelo Alvarez, which leads us to the big question is, should he fight Bivol? What chances do people give him of beating Bivol? Now that we know how good of a defensive technician he is, offensive technician, does Beterbiev have enough power, despite being slow, to hurt and get to Bivol and hurt him? I want to know what you guys think in the chat, or if you want to tap in and call us on that, go ahead and give us a call.
Well, first of all, when I rarely watch other channels except for the ones that I'm really except for the ones that I'm really cool with, like Ringside Reporter, my Model and El Chile and everything. But I heard someone said, when it comes to Dimitri Bivol, that Canelo needs to go fight him at 175. He shouldn't have to bring him down to 168. But the thing about it is, do you ever think of the fact that maybe Demetrius Bivol wants to go down to 168 to have a chance to be undisputed in a weight class?
That'd be some shit, man. Undisputed at 168 and the champion. I'm sorry, I think I may have missed a call. If you guys want to call back, I just missed a call.
Here's the issue like that. You have an opportunity to not only beat the cash cow boxing again, not only beat him again, but to take all his titles off of him and make him somewhat irrelevant now. And people are saying, he needs to go up to 175 and fight him. Hey, Canelo haters. Not that big of a fan of Canelo Evo, but here's the thing, man. Here's the thing. When you guys gotta be calculated, you know?
Yeah, I'm glad you bring up Canelo, Drew, because I happen to have the opinion that I think that Canelo would do actually quite well against Beterbiev if he wanted to try his luck at 175 again. I think that would be an incredible matchup, actually, given the age of Beterbiev and the slowness and the ability to get hit. I think dynamically, it's a much better fight than Canelo going after Bivol again. I just think Bivol does so many things a slight bit better than Canelo Alvarez. I don't know how that rematch. Yeah. Most people think the rematch is a waste of time.
Here's the thing with that Beterbiev Canelo fight. When Canelo lost to Bivol, we all said that he's not going to be. A lot of people say he wouldn't be able to beat a legitimate top 175 pounder because they're too strong.
Of size difference.
Push him back.
Okay.
And everything. I think this season. This is probably even
more dangerous fight in your opinion. More dangerous?
Yeah, it's the same amount of danger as Bivol because Beterbiev has that power that can make you back up, and I think that's what makes Canelo back up. Is he's not going to be able to bully Beterbiev because of that, and because he has Beterbiev has that punch power that can push somebody back, and everything. That it's even the same amount of risk and the same type of matchup that it would be Bivol, even though it's different thing. Bivol is a terrific boxer. Beterbiev is a good boxer, but it's his power and his dangerous shots that's gonna push him back and everything. I don't even tell you the truth. I don't see him beating a top 175 pounder. Canelo. I just think
he beat the crap out of Caleb Smith, who is a legitimate Somehow he goes from getting his butt whooped and his arm broken by Canelo to being a legitimate 175-pound contender. And Caleb Smith, they're talking about Caleb Smith versus Arthur Beterbiev in Montreal or Quebec with Top Rank. So that looks like the next opponent for him.
Where's the difference? Caleb Smith was 168 pounds at that fight.
Right.
Caleb Smith was in the downside of 168 because he was having a hard time making 168 pounds now. This is a legitimate weight now, 175. That fight could go a little bit differently.
You know, the promoters for Yarde, now they want to say, you know what, this version of Yarde would have beat Joe Smith Jr. and arguably he should have been world champion, but he wasn't able to get this fight with Joe Smith Jr. It looks like there's an opportunity for that fight to be made, and also looks like the opportunity over at DAZN with that fighter Buatsi, who I think is a very talented contender himself, that could be a domestic level UK fight that a lot of people would want to see in the UK, Drew. Again, Yarde came up short, man, but he's come up short twice in world title fights, actually by KO. We got a phone call from the 510. Let's take this call because the clock is ticking. 28 minutes till I eat shit. 510, you're on the phone with the Shoe Shine.
Hey, what's up, Dave? What's up, dude? Congratulations on those Eagles, man.
Yeah, congratulations, man, and I appreciate the phone call, man. What's on your mind, man? We had some good main events. I think they were great main events, and I'm starting to feel a lot more positive about at least what type of fights we have lined up for the rest of 2023.
I'm excited for the 175-pound weight class and the 168-pound weight class, man. There's a lot of good fights to be made in both divisions. I think Canelo this year, he should have stay at 168 because, you know, all he's doing at 175 is kind of muddying the water up there, you know. It should be Beterbiev fighting Bivol this year, you know.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Or you got like Surzo versus Yarde. That's a great fight. You know,
absolutely.
Joe Smith. You got Joachim and Boatsi. You got a lot of good guys up there that can mix and match and make great fights. And I don't think Canelo should be up there at all, man. At least not this year, you know.
Right, right. And you know what, you mentioned 168, that fight this weekend, I got sucked into looking for tickets for the March 15th, I believe it's March or March 28th. We have Caleb Plant versus David Benavidez. And if you didn't get tickets this Thursday or Friday, I hate to say it, but they're going to be really, really expensive and room rates too, man. It looks like there's going to be a big draw for that fight. I myself didn't get tickets, and you know, it'd be a dream to get press passes. But Drew, that's a big fight at 168 between two former world champions. The winner who could make a claim to get a shot at Canelo Alvarez. Shout out to my boy Jose Compita. So while we got you on the phone, man, what did you think of that fight? Then, what did you think of the performance by Arthur Beterbiev? Is he washed up?
No, absolutely not. Honestly, I was kind of arguing with Callis a little bit earlier during the week, like, hey, man, don't look Yarde. You know, his arrow's still pointing. He's a big, strong, tough fighter, and he gave Beterbiev all he could handle. You know, he's competitive, man. Some people legitimately had Yarde winning that fight, right? He wasn't. He had Beterbiev in trouble lots of times, man.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up.
I think this fight elevated both guys. Both guys are elevated. Go ahead, Dave.
I'm very glad you brought that up, and I want to get Drew's take on this too, as far as yours. The scorecard, a lot of debate about it. I saw Joe Habib put up that he had Yarde up at the time, and there was two judges that had Yarde up at the time of the stoppage, which I'm not in agreement with, but it was close. It was competitive. I absolutely had Beterbiev up at the time of stoppage. Drew, do you think they were about to try to cook a Yarde hometown win over here? I know a lot of people are complaining about the NFL being rigged, but you know, boxing has the reputation of being rigged.
Well, first of all, Nando, why are you disappointing me, man? Why the fuck you wasting your time arguing with these motherfuckers and not arguing with me? I feel left out now and everything.
But you're the one who takes my phone call, Drew.
But here's the thing. They get into the chat and fucking talk to you and everything. That's the difference. You call, you type in the fucking chat, they with them, they type back and say, well, man, we have to talk about this shit and everything. Let's go to the next topic. And they say, fuck it. But now, let's on some real shit. I actually had Yarde winning the fight at the time of the stoppage, close fight and everything. But I had Yarde slightly winning the fight. But I just seen something that Yarde was actually having a lot of success with was going to Beterbiev weak side. And every time Beterbiev had the high guard, he went to the body. He actually invested more in the body too. And he actually invested more in not going all out right away and boxing a little bit. And it actually worked for Yarde. And like, it's a shame that someone was talking to me about this. It's a shame that he didn't try this in an earlier fight to get seasoned in this strategy, because it might have been a whole different fight if he would have done this in an earlier fight. This style a little bit, because he had success with it.
I mean, it's actually completely different from last week's UK fight, and where Chris Eubanks seems to have regressed, right? And Anthony Yarde, it's actually the opposite. A lot of the bad habits he had of keeping his head in a straight line, a lot of these bad habits seem to have been worked on, Drew, and I commend Yarde for that, for his performance, giving it his best, being in the pocket and trading with such a heavy, devastating puncher. I got to give him credit, man. Also landing that uppercut, but there's still a lot about Beterbeiv that I enjoyed that makes him a master technician, man. That guy can change angles and actually do so many things by changing levels. It's incredible. His punches are so short and compact and yet pack so much devastating power. I want to ask you, Nando, were you upset with the corner throwing in the towel? Because I thought Yarde was down, but I thought he had a lot left, and some people thought he was up on the scorecards, including Drew. I was disappointed that his corner gave up.
I'm sorry that I kind of like watching the fight, dude. I think his corner saved his career, man. To be honest,
okay.
I think if he wouldn't have stopped that fight, I think Beterbeiv really hurts him bad. And now instead of getting completely knocked the F out, people are excited about his career. Like I am. I'm excited to see who he fights next. Whereas if he would have gotten knocked the hell out, maybe you wouldn't see him for another year.
Mm-hmm.
So to be honest, he showed all the heart in the world.
Yeah, it wasn't him who quit.
He has nothing to be ashamed of. Yeah, and just that, but he was hurt. I mean, he was not going to turn that fight around. There's no way. He was hurt. He was struggling. He was kind of up against the ropes. He was kind of already falling down. I mean, I'm not in the corner, but the corner has a better view than anybody. That corner knows their fighter better than anybody. And I think it was an appropriate stoppage. I didn't hear any of the announcers complaining about it. I honestly got him. I'm really excited about Anthony Yarde, and I think he saved his career doing that.
Drew, are you in favor of this safety first approach that we've been seeing in boxing now a lot more, where trainers are getting involved and saying, hey, man, my fighter is going to live to see another day, another big payday?
In that situation, I probably would have, there wasn't a lot of time left in that round. I probably would have tried to get him through the round and then see how and then gave him another round to see where he was at.
Yeah, that was my opinion too. I don't know. I felt like Anthony Yarde still had a lot left in him. But again, Nando makes a great point too, man. The guy can potentially fight again for another world title. Even I think Paulie Malignaggi, I was catching his podcast, and Paulie thinks that Anthony Yarde has a very good chance of still being a world title holder at 175 once Beterbeiv retires because of his young age. And Nando, you're right, man. You can't do that if you take that kind of devastating KO loss. It could set you back big time, man. We gotta pivot. We got 21 minutes left on the clock till I eat shit. Excuse my language. I eat a pie to the face. So let's pivot to this Alexis Rocha highlight reel KO. Man, 2 weeks in a row already in January with some devastating KO finishes. Talking about Chris Eubanks last weekend getting knocked out by Liam Smith. But this weekend we had a replacement fighter. This was actually supposed to be Oscar's fight for Ryan Garcia was supposed to headline this card. Alexis Rocha ranked number 3, someone that he thinks is going to be a world title, possibly world title, fight for a world title. And Alexis Rocha, who's got that big win over Blair Cobbs. And Drew, man, I'm going to get to that Blair Cobbs thing before this show is over, because he got threatened to get sued, and man, did his tune change this week. Oh man, his tune changed. All right, he got knocked out. Alexis Rocha looks great against everybody but Rashidi Ellis Jr. And all of a sudden, if you haven't heard about this, man, Terrence Bud Crawford was at Oscar De La Hoya's offices this weekend. So there was a lot on the line for Alexis Rocha, who's ranked number 3. Virgil Ortiz is set to fight for the WBA minor title, secondary title, leaves Alexis Rocha with the potential to fight Bud Crawford, and they're fucking serious, man. There was Terrence Bud Crawford. Nanda, your thoughts on this, man? What Terrence Crawford, just signed a 1-fight deal with this BLK promotional company. Now he's at Oscar De La Hoya's offices this weekend. That's a big deal, right?
I think, to be honest, this is the best thing Bud Crawford can do, man, because he can't go back to Top Rank. He's been suing them, right? And they don't really have any welterweights. They still don't. You can't really go with PBC because they really don't want to break bread with their welterweights, man. At least they haven't so far. And so, I mean, when you look at the landscape, man, his best chance to have a good 2023 is with Golden Boy. He can fight Rocha next, maybe Verge at the end of the year. There's fights to be made by Golden Boy. And at the DAZN side, you also have Conor Benn, who's also with DAZN. So I don't think it's a bad idea for him to sign with Golden Boy, man. There's a lot of good fights to be made, a lot more than with Top Rank or with PDC. So I think it benefits him, and it's good for everybody. Good for my subscription to DAZN too.
Yeah, hey, shout out to my girl Walk with Rhonda, whose Chiefs will be. Oh, Drew, I'm gonna be wearing a jersey for I'll probably wear a Philly Eagles hat next week because her Chiefs and you guys are going to the Super Bowl. Maybe she'll want to call in and make a wager against you. That might be a little interesting. Of course, shout out to all the Chiefs fans too. Not really. No, I'm just kidding. All right, we're back on track here. Alexis Rocha, man. Drew, Alexis Rocha fighting a guy from Ghana, a tough guy who was on a win streak, but really a 135-pound fighter for the majority of his career, 140 pounds. Can I give fucking props to this guy too, man? Because he came to fight. Yes, he kept his chin up in the air, but this guy responded to everything Alexis Rocha was doing, getting dropped, I believe, in the 3rd or 4th round, but putting up a hell of a fight and a hell of a show for that Los Angeles audience. You guys agree?
Yeah, but here's the thing. Alexis Rocha, you got all these fights. You lost to Speedy Ellis. You knocked Blair Cobbs out, showed he was all hype and everything. And now Oscar is feeding you to Bud Crawford.
Not ready.
And
not ready, because I've got it up here. Is he ready for Bud Crawford?
He's definitely not ready for Bud Crawford, Alexis Rocha. He's not ready. And I'm going to be honest, I'm hearing people, he's ducking Al Spence and I'm going to go to Scotty Boy. Stop it. Al Spence ducked Bud Crawford. And that's facts. And if you Al Sexers can't get it to your fucking fixed scars, then I don't know what the fuck. Even if you got to get bitch slapped in the face to get it to your face, to get it to you, you're still not going to get it. Why? Because you're a dick rider. You're like riding the dick. What can I say? But here, this is possibly the best opportunity Bud can explore right now to make some real money at a promotional company and to not only fight Virgil Ortiz, which I think he easily beats, and Alexis Rocha, which I think he also easily beats, and the juice
God.
Well, let Nando. Oh, the Conor Benn. Let's not even talk about that guy. He hasn't proved anything that he's not a drug cheat. Nando, you're saying, oh my God, you think he walked through? It's a walk in the park for him to fight Alexis Rocha? I'm talking about Terrence Bud Crawford.
Absolutely not, man. Drew's gonna get me fired up again, man. Hey, Drew, did you not watch the Jose Benavidez fight? Did you not watch the Jose Benavidez fight? Did you not watch Bud versus Kavaliauskas?
I watched him fight Danny Garcia.
He struggled with both those guys. Drew. You don't think Rocha's better than Kavaliauskas or Jose Benavidez on one leg? Are you tripping?
Rashidi Ellis easily outboxed Alexis Rocha.
Well, I don't know what the promotional contract
is 100 times better than Rashidi Ellis. I'm predicting an 8th round knockout of Alexis Rocha if this fight happens.
You think he'll have trouble?
I agree. Bud's going to beat Rocha.
To the big dog.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. Bud's going to beat Rocha. I agree with that. But to completely dismiss him is ridiculous. Bud has struggled at welterweight the entire time, dude. Everybody's faced at welterweight. He has not destroyed. Not saying maybe Avanesian, but that's it. He had a hard time with Jose Benavidez on one leg. He had a hard time with Kavaliauskas also. I mean, come on. What are we doing? Are we talking about results or are we doing pretend fights?
Nando, are you concerned with Bud's age? as you know, where the theme of tonight is fighters over 30. He's going to be 36 potentially. You concerned with that?
Dave, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Wasn't that Jose Benavidez fight at 140?
I don't remember, to be honest.
It was at 140. Yeah. So why are we
talking about 147, Drew? It was at 147. It was at 147.
What's resources?
It may have been. It may have very well.
Yeah,
I think you're correct.
But go ahead, dude. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Oh, no. It may have very well been at 147. I mean, you bring up a good point that Top Rank, one of the reasons Terrence left Top Rank is because he wasn't getting great opponents from Bob Arum at 147 pounds. All the stable is at PBC, which is why he had to leave. But you know, they didn't have faith in him being a big pay-per-view seller over at Top Rank. I got to see his last fight with pay-per-view. Last Top Rank fight, and I think it sold incredibly well. It was a sold-out crowd, but they parted ways. There is an opportunity for him to do business with Oscar, maybe for a one-fight deal. But what Oscar is alluding to is, look, man, I want to get Terrence Bud Crawford lined up for 2 or 3 fights. I'll give you Rocha right now, who's ranked number 3. Blair Cobbs is ranked number 5 with the WBO, and I don't know if Blair Cobbs is officially off the roster, but it's a fight that he can also make. And then eventually feed him to Virgil Ortiz if Virgil Ortiz comes out successful. By the way, guys, that fight has been rescheduled. I made an ass of myself on the roundtable by saying that Virgil Ortiz should wait for Stanionis. And I ended up being redeemed because that's exactly what Oscar De La Hoya wanted for Virgil Ortiz. He wanted him to wait, and it looks like it'll be rescheduled for April. So that's really exciting news. The other thing that in the news is that Oscar says that, look, Bud, I can make the fight happen with Spence because I've got a tremendous working relationship with PBC now. And by the way, I don't know anything about that. Yeah, that's hilarious because the Ryan Garcia fight versus Tank Davis is not official. It's not official yet. I mean, the contract was set. They were taking pictures, and I haven't seen shit. But let me tell you, if that fight gets made in Las Vegas, you can bet your ass that room rates will be through the freaking roof middle of April. So if you're planning on being there, reserve a room now if you want to be there for all the excitement in April. Drew, do you think Oscar is going to be able to sign Terrence Bud Crawford for 3 fights? And before I finish that, I need to know, man, Alexis Rocha, is he better than Virgil Ortiz, as good as Virgil Ortiz, or you really, really think that he's just being fed as the first opponent at fodder to Terrence Bud Crawford?
Alexis Rocha's nowhere near better than Virgil Ortiz. I wish these two would have fought already, and Virgil would have dismantled him in 7 rounds and everything. Like, he's going to be the sacrificial lamb.
Yeah.
To the, hey, Bud, we'll give you a free fight deal, and we're gonna offer you Rocha first, and then after that, we're gonna give you Virgil Ortiz maybe at the end of the year, and then we're gonna give you a big fight and everything. But I look at it like this: when you say that people thought you made an ass out of yourself, no, you didn't, Dave. I told you that before. You did not make an ass out of yourself. So whoever thought you made an ass out of yourself feels like an ass and probably looks like an ass too. So,
shout out to my boy Sontea Media. Make sure you subscribe. Go check out his content. He was at Robert Garcia's Promotions fight this weekend and has some awesome videos. He says Murataya looked good. I just uploaded his fight. I'm looking forward to seeing that. And he also says he's nowhere near Virgil Ortiz. There's a lot of good contenders there for Bud. I'm very excited to see if it's a good fit with Oscar. If he was down there with Oscar, it probably means something is on the verge of happening, which could be potentially really good for the end of Terrence Bud Crawford's career. 2-3 fights left in his late 30s.
Here's the thing, Dave. Mm-hmm. The only way Bud signs with Golden Boy if Bernard has something to do with it.
Okay. And Bernard was in that picture, man. Bernard was there in the conversation.
I think Bernard would have to have something to do with it because I think Bernard will be able to be like a cornerstone for Terrence Crawford to get other fights after this potential potential Virgil Ortiz fight. Maybe could have a good negotiation guy with him if he decides to revisit the Errol Spence negotiation, which I doubt is going to happen because Errol Spence ducked him. And I think people need to start accepting it. and everything. Because
Buddy's moving on with his career, man.
If you really wanted to fight, you would have told your Uncle Al, I don't care what you got to give him. Give him what he wants. I want to fight him. I want to be undisputed. But no, undisputed don't mean shit to these fighters anymore. Legacy don't mean shit to these fighters anymore, man. That's what's wrong with boxing today, man. That's why I don't give a flying fuck about Errol Spence and everything, because tell you the truth, they're not going to match him up with nobody that can possibly beat him. Like, it is what it is, man. Like, I'm going to tell you why. One of what made Errol Spence not really want to fight Terence Crawford, him sitting at ringside and seeing him doing something he couldn't do, stops Sean Portal. He walked out like, I'm going to make up a reason not to fight Terence Crawford now. I'm going to give him some money that I know he won't pick if he'll refuse. He can walk out like this, and Terence Crawford's going to say, all right, got this dude $25 million guaranteed to fight me. He didn't want that fight because I wasn't getting nobody else touched by him. So at the end of the day, man, Terence Crawford has the right to do whatever the fuck he wants now. I think people need not to complain about it anymore. He tried to make the fight. Errol Spence ducked. Now he should just go to Golden Boy, beat the hell out of Rocha, and win and dispatch of Roger Ortiz, and then show everybody that, hey, that young lining, he had nothing for me. And if everybody wants to fight him, retire in the sunset. What else can you do? You're undisputed at 140, I believe. You're a 3-division weight champion. You're on already a 10-fight KO streak. Could possibly go to 11 if you're fighting Alexis Rocha. What else can he accomplish? Go up to 154? He's still going to have to go negotiate with Al Heyman for a Jamil Charlo fight, which I don't think that's going to happen. So what else is there to happen? I don't know.
Man, Drew, I feel like a freaking NFL team watching the clock. I had to pause the clock. I wonder if anybody even noticed on Drew's vicious rant right now. Speaking of Errol Spence, I mentioned that Rolly Romero's been taunting Errol Spence as if he's going to get a shot at Errol Spence, the welterweight champion. And since there's some people in my chat who might know, I'm going to put this out there. But what Las Vegas streamer was thrown out by Rolly Romero this week, or just in the past week, was thrown out of Rolly Romero's gym? Ooh, I wonder who that could be. All right, I'm going to reset the clock. Nobody say shit. No, I got to reset the clock because speaking of legacy, this weekend on Friday night, this was supposed to be a great Mexican fight. Navarrete versus Oscar Valdez for the 130-pound championship that Shakur Stevenson beat the crap out of Oscar Valdez in a schooling. I was there in Las Vegas for that fight. Of course, Shakur Stevenson's now campaigning at 135. Devin Haney, Lomachenko, all at Top Rank, which leaves the opportunity for Oscar Valdez to reclaim it, but he's injured. So Navarrete is going to go with Wilson, an Australian fighter with hardly any fights. Dude, this is a gimme belt, Drew. This is going to end in KO, and I don't know any other way it's going to end. But this Friday night card is stacked with talent. You're going to have the son of Fernando Vargas, Emiliano Vargas, making his third appearance. You've got the silver medalist from California is on the card. It's stacked with a lot of up-and-coming talent, which is what I like to see on these top-ranked cards. Are you excited, Nando, for this fight, man, for Navarrete to see what he looks like at 130? He already has love handles as a featherweight, but a lot of people think he's going to carry the power up to 130. I predict a KO win for him, but are you excited to see what he does at 130?
It's the fights that matter, right? So this weekend or this Friday, it's not a great fight. So I'm going to stay patient, but to be honest, I was hoping he'd fight that guy, the other Mexican dude that won at featherweight.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man, I forget his name, dude. Find Liam.
Venado Lopez.
I forgot already. Do you find him? No, the one fighting this month in February also, right? He's fighting. I forgot his name already.
Oh yeah.
But anyways, yeah, I'm excited to see.
Bronco Lara.
So whatever he does, I'll roll with it.
Mm-hmm.
Who's that?
Bronco Lara.
Yeah.
Bronco Lara. Yeah, I mean, there's some great
opportunities. That would have been a war.
Oh,
dude.
my God. Yeah, 100 at 126 at featherweight. I would have liked to have seen him defend his title against El Venado Lopez, who now has a belt at 126 and fights for Top Rank. Then you have, of course, Bronco Lara, who I think he's also very friendly with. But no, he's going to go up to 130 campaign. I do hope to see this fight with Oscar Valdez at some time. I think it's going to be a sure win for him this Saturday. Drew, do you think this guy Wilson's going to do much, if anything?
He's done.
He said he's done. Oh, JC with a good one. This usually goes into the gossip section. I've reset the clock. We have barely any time for gossip, but there was a video circulating of Kell Brook, the former welterweight champion, doing cocaine. A lot of people came to his defense and a lot of people ripped him. Man, he's kind of one of these fighters who's kind of semi-retired, and cocaine and boxing. There's been a lot of that in the history of boxing, man. Why should anybody be surprised what he does in his private times? And fuck his friends, right? What kind of friends are those that videotape you, man? That's the society we live in today. I have to say, what's up with your friends holding their phones, making videos for TikTok, trying to shame you, man? I've been seeing a lot of that in the YouTube community.
That's a huge no-no.
That's a huge no-no. I mean, I was just referencing a Las Vegas streamer who got thrown out of TMT this week. It's a big no-no. You can't walk into TMT and film, any boxer, but especially somebody like Raleigh Romero, who already, has fought a big name like Tank Davis. You just can't go in there unannounced and start recording people without permission. So that being said, man, shit. I feel bad for Kell Brook, man, but whatever, it is what it is, guys. Drew, there's also on this card.
Hey, Dave.
Yeah.
What about the other Cheeseman? What about the other Cheeseman, Dave?
Which one?
That Showtime ain't gonna be around no more, man. It'll be Paramount now.
That is a big deal, man. That is a big deal. If you guys haven't heard Showtime channel, the channel is now owned by Paramount, and somehow I think I get Paramount for free with my cable package. But it could very well be that the name Showtime will completely disappear, and there's a long history of Showtime boxing and what they've built up. But in the Cheeseman says that they're going to be cutting things that don't make money. That don't make money, Drew. And if boxing is a loss, like they say it is, that really threatens the future of Showtime promotions, right? Doing fights, man.
What did I say? What did I say? That at this time, or at the time next year, that PBC is probably going to sell their rights to another promoter, because Showtime is going to be gone. Bye-bye, Showtime, because tell you the truth, you got to be losing money on the bullshit. Even though some people claim that you're making money and everything. But nah, like let's say people say, oh, that Tank Davis, Hector Garcia fight there, 221,000, 100,000 pay-per-view buys. Where Glazer said that this shit did 61. And then until you talk about cable fucking companies, how they go. I used to work for a cable company. Yay, I'm fucking happy for you, man. But at the end of the day, man, nobody knows the real fucking numbers. Seriously. Is Paramount going to keep boxing? I fucking doubt it. The way it's going, because with the bullshit mediocre cards that this fucking company, this fucking Showtime has been putting out there with the PBC and everything, I'll be applauding them getting rid of it. And you wonder what this makes this Ryan Garcia, Gervonta Tank Davis fight mean now? Got nicknamed Ryan Garcia, Ryan A-side Garcia, and everything in this shit, because he's about to become the A-side.
Well, Drew, I had to take a time out at the 5-minute marker. People were waiting to see me eat shit, take a pie to the face. I've timed out the clock at 5 minutes right now. I'm taking a time out right now as we pivot. Let me give a quick shout out to Arnold Barboza Jr., who will be the co-main event on Friday. It was very nice of Lukey Boxing, who you guys heard here last Friday. But he brought on Arnold Barboza Jr. Recently on the Shoe Shine. And we talked about what's going on with his personal drama, not being able to get a title fight. He finds himself as the co-main this Friday night against Pedraza, Jose Pedraza, the former Puerto Rican champ. I'll be real with you guys, man. It feels like they're failing him again with Pedraza, who recently lost to Jose Ramirez from Fresno. Drew, I don't know what's going on at Top Rank with these guys. Very talented fighters. Jose Ramirez, the former world champ, fighting Comey, and they're trying to sell it. I know some of you. Are you going to that fight, Nando, in Fresno?
He went off.
Okay, Nando's gone. Hey, man, I appreciate it. A lot of people, it's going to sell out, Drew, but I'm not happy about it. And I'm just going to voice my criticism right now. These guys need to be challenged. Jose Pedraza, coming up from 135 to 140, has shown that he'll never be a world champion at 140. Arnold Barboza should defeat him handily. But what does that fucking prove to us? What does it prove Jose Ramirez fighting Comey, a guy that Teofimo Lopez fucking knocked out? What does that prove?
You know what? I gotta say this. Jose, I really commend you on trying to take a pie for your boy, but it's not helping. He's taking the pie tonight.
Oh shit!
He waged with Philly Irish Drew Evo, and he fucking lost.
The
he
clock
got dominated.
All right, hey, I see my boy D Ware up in here. Shout out to D Ware of Urban AC channel. Yeah, the clock is going 4 minutes and 44 seconds. Drew, this Saturday, Friday, don't miss that on ESPN. That card is going to be very exciting. I think it should be an entertaining card to just watch the prospects and contenders. Yes,
Jose Ramirez and Teofimo Lopez both duck Weezus Prograis. People need to stop capping with the bullshit and everything about business and boxing, where the fight could have been made. They did not. They were too fucking stupid because they say we're not taking that low of a person or anything. But at the end of the day, Jose Zepeda, a top-ranked fighter, went and fought Prograis for a vacated title. And they were gonna get paid more than fucking Jose Zepeda. So, and they're all hyping themselves. Look, Teofimo's dad hyping himself up and everything. And what happens? You ducked him. You ducked Weezus Prograis. What can I fucking say, man? It's a fucking disgrace how this dude talks so much fucking shit. Then gets outboxed by Xander Martin. I think Xander Martin won the fight, and then he's in the car. Do I still have this? You know what, man? You haven't been the same since your Lomachenko win, man. You got too fucking cocky, and your dad's still cocky as shit. All he is a glorified hype, man. And the fucked up thing is your career's fucking over before it's even starting back up again. Because you do not take the fucking fight with Weezus Prograis and get a fucking title, which you had a good chance of winning. And Jose Ramirez, you fucking don't want to fight him because you got your ass kicked by Josh Taylor so fucking bad. You got scored and almost have stopped. This dude's going to probably stop you.
Wow.
How much time left? 3:05? Let's pause it again.
Now, we're probably going to have to take a 2-minute warning right here, Drew, because I still got one more thing to cover. If you guys saw the fight on DAZN this weekend, you know that Jake Paul, YouTube fights are a big deal. We talked about Showtime might get bought out. It's been bought out by Paramount. They might be losing it. But Jake Paul and Tommy Fury, Drew, that's a go. And they're really trying to hype up that fight. Of course, they had words in the middle of the ring. So we're going to see Jake Paul versus Tom Fury. Supposedly, they got a backup. But even funnier, Drew, this is the funniest shit I've heard all day. Before you say that. April 15th is a big YouTube fight by Misfits Boxing that has a contract with DAZN. They will be doing the first ever YouTuber tag team boxing match. And yeah, that's pretty fucking ridiculous.
This fucking funny, man. It is, man. It's fucking funny. And everything, man. Tag team boxing now?
Tag team boxing. By the way,
what's the next one to go?
I don't know, but one of
the Bulls boxing?
If I wasn't so old, I'd say, shit, get me in on that, man. Everybody who goes YouTube boxing gets big, man. So that is the big news. The clock stopped at 2:02, Drew.
I got a question. You know, your boy Derek wants us to set up a fight for him and everything. I just want to know, do I get a percentage for helping you and everything? Because I'll help. I do my part in helping if I get a percentage of this pot.
Hey, man. Jose Gombita says tag team boxing matchup. What? There'll be some shit right there. I'm sure a lot of you guys would have some dream matchups of YouTubers you'd like to see fight each other. I'm sure of it. Hey, there is one more fight this weekend. The ladies take over Madison Square Garden, and it features a female boxer that I think you are a big fan of, Alicia Bumgarner, the world champion, Amanda Serrano, who had Fight of the Year with Katie Taylor last year. She'll be headlining that fight, Drew. Let's see. undisputed for Amanda Serrano against a Mexican fighter, Erica Cruz, who comes from a boxing family, Drew. This woman apparently got her start fighting at county fairs in illegal boxing matches, man, like straight up cockfighting for women's boxing. So undisputed, all the titles. But what's your thoughts on that, man? Because I think she's dropping down to 126 to see what she can do and collect all these titles.
2 undisputed fights. What can I say? The women's fights, but hey, can't get no better than that on a women's card. But I think she collects that last belt, and I guess then we explore the Katie Taylor rematch. I know it's not going to be in Ireland because it's going to cost Eddie Hearn too much money to have the fight in Ireland, so they're going to have to look for another location. Possibly Madison Square Garden again, possibly Vegas, possibly the Crypto Center, or the fuck you call that LA arena now? It used to be called Staples, now it's called the Crypto Arena. What the fuck it's called now? You set up for an even bigger card, having the UK and everything. But we have to see if she gets past this girl first.
We do. We have to see that.
Well,
I just put back the clock. We got 2 minutes left on the clock until I eat a freaking pie to the face and take one. Do not miss Amanda Serrano if you can, because I think she's must-see female boxing, and of course versus Erica Cruz, who holds a title of her own. If you're a fan of what Alicia Baumgartner did, she'll also be defending, like you said, undisputed against a French fighter that, the French fighter, I checked her out. Mikhailid is her name. She's from Paris. She's only got one loss. See, she's 15-1. And it's much better than the South Korean former champion that they couldn't get, this girl named Choi, who's too busy, I guess, with modeling and television contracts. So they put her as champion in recess. And so you get to see Alicia Baumgartner, who is now the world champion, despite what Michaela Mayer wants to think about it. Yeah, it is what it is, man. So women's boxing, also a couple guys, but I mean, that's Saturday night. Friday night, we got the ESPN. I'm going to give you your last thoughts, Drew, because the Philly Eagles did something incredible. They beat my 49ers and Purdy got fucked up. You got 1 minute. You got 1 minute here. Prediction on the Chiefs. Prediction on the Chiefs versus
31-20 Eagles.
That's it. I'm giving you 45 seconds before I eat this.
And here's the thing. We did something that I told you, Dave, was going to happen. Their offensive line dominated the number 1 ranked defensive line in football. And they rushed for 150 yards on them and scored 4 rushing touchdowns. What can I say? Why are you doing it to yourself? I need someone to bang you with the pie, to make a noise. Matter of fact, you can do it yourself because I pied myself before. I just need a nice hard hit with the pie for you.
You still got 15 seconds, man. Every second counts.
Fly. Dave's out the hat finally for once. Eagles fly on the road to victory. Fly. Eagles fly on a touchdown. 1, 2, 3. Let them low. Hit them high. And watch our Eagles fly. Fly. Eagles fly on the road to victory. Dave, don't ever bet against me again. And by the way, it's kind of $150 to Tommy Bell and Eagles.
You know what? My boy's speech says you still owe him money. He said, what did he say? Oh, he said, Philly shithead. All right, here it is. All right, guys, it's been great. It's been the Shoe Shine. I'm going to clean my eyes off. We'll see you next Monday. Enjoy me eating a pie to the face.
You want to damage that mountain set. That's why I took it off.
The things we'll do for views, man. I'll see you guys next week. Peace out, everybody.
Look.